Hi guys, Ninja12 here, and today I'm going to be giving you my Plebs guide to Leona. I'll also be putting up a video soon, hopefully, where I play Leona as a full game commentary, and I'll see which one I prefer, and whether I'll post both in future, or just these guides, or whatever. I won't be posting ranked games as I had originally planned, because I don't have a high NPC, and recording literally cuts my frame rate in half, and I need any advantage I can get in ranked, so yeah. Hopefully I'll be able to post a Plebs guide each week, either on Sunday night or on Monday morning, as the team builder queue here in OCE, I do play on the OCE server, opens on Sunday afternoons, and that will allow me to play who I want to show you guys and where I want to play them. The Plebs Guide series will eventually cover all the game's champions. It's intended to help people out who want to pick up a new champion and want an in-depth guide to how to use that champion in an efficient manner. Hints and tricks to the champion's abilities, as well as some basic builds, will allow people who aren't familiar with the champion to play them decently well from the very first time they play. I'm starting with Leona, as she is my main. So on to Leona then, and well, what is Leona? Leona is a great initiating tanky support. As a tank, she's sometimes found in the top lane and rarely as a support style jungler as well. I did recently play a game where someone called mid and took Leona there, and they played brilliantly, but I think you'd have to really like and play Leona a lot in order to pull that off. So, Leona is supposed to be a support. Her kit is perfect for a tanky support. This is largely because of her passive, and with that I'll go into her kit. So, her passive is Sunlight, and what basically happens is anytime an enemy champion is hit by one of your spells, they receive the debuff Sunlight. Sunlight activates when one of Leona's allies, such as your carry, does any damage to the champion, any damage, that's spells as well. This then activates the debuff, causing a small amount of magic damage based on your level to be added to your ally's damage. So this is somewhat similar to Lux's passive, but Leona cannot herself proc Sunlight, so it's really inefficient to just be laning on your own. Interestingly, this damage counts as your ally's damage, so you'll never accidentally steal kills with it. Leona's Q is Shield of Daybreak, and after activating it, your next basic attack will apply a 1.25 second stun. I usually take this as my level 1 skill, but focus on leveling it second, as I prefer the W, which scales much better. Things to note, using the Q is an auto attack reset, meaning if you finish your auto attack and then immediately use it, you will get off 3 fairly quick autos in a row. And this means that if someone places a ward right at your feet and you're quick enough, you can kill the ward simply by attacking it, Q, and attacking it again. Also, activating Q very slightly increases your melee range. So onto the W, Eclipse. Using Eclipse surrounds you with an aura of light that increases your armor and magic resist by both a consistent amount and 20% of your armor and MR values. So building tanky items really scales it. And this covers you for 3 seconds, after which it will burst outwards in a small circle, applying magic damage to enemy units. If you hit an enemy unit with it, the tankiness it gives you lasts for a further 3 seconds. I will usually put a point into this at level 3, but then I will focus on leveling it first, as it definitely scales all of your other abilities, especially if you're a support. You're building tanky anyway. It scales much better. The thing to remember with Eclipse is that it has no channel time, meaning you can cast it whilst walking without interrupting your movement or any of your other spells. If you're playing in solo queue, activating your W immediately before going in can be a good way to let your teammate know that you want to go in, but also it alerts your opponents that you want to go in, so use it wisely. Leona's E is Zenith Blade. Leona projects a thin line of light in a straight line out of her sword, doing a small amount of magic damage to any units in the line. If you hit an enemy champion, you will dash behind the last enemy champion struck by the blade, and the enemy will remain rooted in place whilst you travel to them. This is mostly used as a gap closer. I take it at level 2 and immediately engage if my ADC and I hit level 2 first, and this can be a great way to win lane. I will usually focus on leveling this last afterwards. A lane Leona might level this second, to get some more wave clear, but I really would take the Q above it anyway, so yes, definitely your last ability. Interestingly, if you're facing a Wukong, LeBlanc, or Shaco, hitting a clone won't trigger the dash. Also, after the dash, you will immediately attempt to auto-attack the champion, so this leads us into your lane combo. When you have the advantage, you will attempt to land your E on the enemy champion, usually the enemy carry unless they're really slippery, in which case you might target the support if they're really squishy. You press W whilst you're travelling to them, you wait for your auto attack to go through, and then you Q to stun. This gives you the most amount of damage you can do. If your lane partner or jungler follows up, then the enemy should either be dead, chunked out of health, or you're behind. There's simply no two ways about it. Executed correctly, this will win you lane every single time. Now, let's go over the ultimate, Solar Flare. Solar Flare hits a medium-sized circle where targeted after 0.625 seconds, so it sort of drops from the sky. It stuns opponents in the center of the circle and slows those who are a little further out. This is a huge teamfight-orientated ultimate that can literally turn the results of games from losses to wins, and that's why I love playing Leona. In lane you might end up using this once or twice, and it can definitely secure a team a kill, but it really shines in teamfights. Once you get tanky enough, you become a one-champ initiation tool. When the two teams are dancing before a team fight, you keep your eyes open on the enemy team, and if 3 or more of them bunch up, particularly the strongest member of them, the one who's doing the most damage, drop the ultimate on them and start your combo into them using your Q to keep the carry stunned. If you land the ultimate and your team isn't asleep, you will win this team fight and can gain something from there. Also, as a support, it's not hard to reach the cooldown limit, so your ultimate, which has a relatively short cooldown as far as ultimates go, you should just use it whenever you can hit multiple enemies. Don't be afraid to use it, as it'll be back soon enough. Alright, so we've gone over what you can do. Now let's look at how you can achieve the ability to do this with impunity. Firstly, runes and masteries. Following the 0-21-9 trend works well, getting the cooldown reduction and mana regen out of your utility tree. Personally, I like to enter the game as tanky as possible. It's a little bit silly, but I like to go 0-30-0 whilst taking flat health reds, flat armor yellows, flat magic resist blues, and scaling armor quints. Item wise, as support Leona, you want to get the relic shield, a pot, and the yellow trinket first. When playing support, I will not go back without at least 800 gold, where I immediately pick up Sightstone and swap my trinket for a red one. Brush control can be key as Leona, and warding to keep your carry safe is your job anyway. Boots and the Aegis shield before finishing your face in the mountain. Then you will upgrade the Aegis to the Locket, probably pick up a Mikhail's Crucible and Merc's Treads. And then from there you could pick up any situational item which gives you tankiness, Ice Gauntlet, Randuin's Omen, Frozen Heart, Banshee's Veil, and Ryleigh's Crystal Scepter are all very good items. As a lane Leona, a Ice Gauntlet first is a must, as Sheen is a needed trading tool. You could pick up Merc Treads, Ninja Tabai, or Silk Shoes, depending on how well you're doing against your lane and what type of damage they do. And Zhonya's somewhere before team fights gives you the AP you need, as well as allowing you to engage the same way you would if you were a support. You engage with your ultimate and so on. And then, since you're not quite as tanky as support Leona, you just Zhonya's up, and then you wait for your whole team to come in and save the day. In the jungle, you're still a support rather than a carry, so Quill Coat into the Crest of the Ancient Golem is your item build. Swiftness boots allow you to roam and give you a little bit of the tenacity Merc's Treads would. I would still sometimes go Merc's Treads. Ninja Tabai is also an option if you want to just be able to trade with the enemy jungler and the creeps a little. Trading with the enemy jungler probably isn't a great idea though. You're just not going to do the damage early. You're really focused on letting your teammates in lanes get kills and your late game teamfight presence. Thus, because of this, you might still get a Sightstone if you're used to being a support jungler. Sightstone can be really helpful. And Locket is still a really good teamfight item as well. Finally, if you do intend to duo queue with Leona, she works well with AD carries, all AD carries very, very well. She also combos really well with area of effect ability, bringing mids, tops, or junglers, such as Orianna, Ziggs, Jarvan Fourth, and Malphite. That ball delivery system, though, is just too good. On the other hand, if you're playing draft pick, picking Leona into Thresh, Braum, or Taric is really risky because any of these champs played well can effectively control you in lane. Also, picking Leona into Morgana is really just silly, as Morgana counters Leona really, really hard, and it takes a really experienced Leona to win that one. Alright, so I do hope to be bringing out more of these guides. Hopefully I'll be able to bring them out more than one a week, but we'll see. The next 2 or 3 champions will almost certainly be picked out by friends of mine who actually want me to show them how to play a champion. And then beyond there, I will be taking requests. So, yeah, that was my Plebs guide to Leona, and GG.